into hell.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of the new AC/DC, but not new, but you know.
AC, what?
You know, the original singer was the better lead singer of that group. This guy's just a screamer. He couldn't care, you know, if it had handles on it.
Well, he's 70-some-odd years old now. Is it still Brian Johnson?
I don't know. I wasn't an AC/DC fan. So let's talk about it.
I wasn't necessarily an AC/DC fan either. I heard it all. I heard them all the time because a lot of people I knew were AC/DC fans. So
and I'm a rocker too. I like hard rock. That doesn't do anything for me. But
well, it's just really loud blues, really.
It's not on my playlist.
Lyrics that are to be ignored.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sean,
I've taken
welcome.
Welcome to day 6 of the new Iranian hostage crisis. History has repeated itself. However, this time, I don't think it's going to end very well. You and I both old enough to remember the Iranian hostage crisis with Jimmy Carter.
What are you saying?
It didn't end well. I mean, it ended okay because of times were different. This is 50 years ago. Now it's like, wow, these men that are there, and maybe there's a dozen or more at least. I'm not certain if they're going to hold them for ransom because the going rate is about $1 billion per head, no pun intended. But the problem is when you are hostage of a group like Hamas, the chances of you getting out alive aren't very good.
No, they're not. And we can't we can't give them money. We can't because they'll just keep doing it.
Well, but that's probably what's going to happen. Look, Republicans drag their feet taking
They'll buy more weapons with the money.
One of the things that bothers me most is why has it taken so long for any Republican to do anything against Biden, starting all the way back with the Afghanistan pullout? That was treasonous all by itself. Instead, what they have been doing? They've slow-walked the Hunter Biden laptop story. Not that that's not an important story. What I'm hoping for is this. The Republicans are hashing out who's going to be the new speaker. I'm hoping Congress adds what happened to Israel to the impeachment list. Because, in my view, this is far more serious than that. Now, again, not that the laptop isn't serious. Now, the only person who could possibly do that would be Jim Jordan if he becomes speaker. Steve Scalise is a bit better, a tiny bit better than Kevin McCarthy. But at this point in history, we don't need a tiny bit better. We need a lot better. I'm hoping Jordan somehow pulls it out, but I have my doubts. You know, Ted Cruz has already identified, the trail of how many, upwards of $50 billion of money that found its way to Iran. That by itself is impeachable because that's all on the Biden administration. They ignored laws that were put in place during the Trump administration, sanctions and so forth. They ignored their own laws. They didn't change the laws. They just ignored it. And money flowed to a terrorist state. That, again, is against the law. That is impeachable. I'm waiting, I'm not holding my breath, for Republicans to finally take action against Biden.
I'm glad, Dan, that you're not holding your breath.
No, I couldn't do it.
They're going to do nothing.
Speaking of nothing, speaking of nothing, I'm thinking that, the media, as I see it, at large measure, they kind of have to cover this Israel story. I think they don't want to, but they're actually doing fairly well, pointing out the horrors that are there. But they're missing one main element here. They're not digging deep into the details. You remember that story years ago that the media pulled on Trump? They were showing Hispanic children from south of the border in cages, and they blamed Trump for that.
I do remember. Those pictures were not from the Trump administration, though. Those pictures were from when Obama was in there, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
They were dated on 2014. Trump should have ripped into the media, for raw hypocrisy. He failed to do so. It was a total mistake. But I mention that because you and I, I'm certain, have seen the pictures that are out there of cages the size of you put a small dog into. They're putting Israeli children into.
Oh.
And those pictures should be front and center in the mainstream media. They're not. I think they're still trying to protect Biden, or they're going to use the excuse, it's too horrific to show. I'm sorry, no, it isn't. The seriousness of that situation needs to be revealed, and people need to be educated, because right now they're not. If something god-awful happens tomorrow, most people are too ignorant and too stupid to realize, we're in a state of war and we're in tremendous danger.
Well, Dan, as usual, you're bang on correct. People are just not paying attention.
Let me end on this. What I don't want to have happen next month, this time next month, that this story falls to the category of where Maui is, because those people, 1,000 or more, they burned to death, most likely by our government. People have completely forgotten about that.
Not everyone, but too many, yeah. Okay, well then, you have brightened my day once again.
Doing my job yet again.
Thank you so much. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, bud.
Take care. It is 7:21, 80 degrees this afternoon with sunshine. Good morning.